So this video is going to be analysing dungeon gameplay in the first Descendant. The map at the top right hand side corner will show you a map of all the dungeons or reclamations launching in the game. There's 16 of them. Now notice the symbols are red, but yet on the gameplay it's green. The reason I believe for this, it's called Unknown Laboratory by the way, the reason why I believe that is because this gameplay is a normal entry level dungeon. The map that you just saw was all the hard mode levels, right? But the reason why it's red is to indicate that it's hard mode, and it had a 2 on the symbol, whereas this doesn't have the 2 on the symbol, but it has the exact same single symbol with a dot and then 2 brackets. So I believe this to be a reclamation. Also, to confirm that it is a reclamation or a dungeon, because that's what the first Descendant refers to as a dungeon. At the end of the game at 12 minutes 46, you'll see the guy wants to leave the mission, and it says, "Do you want to leave the reclamation area?" Reclamation means dungeon, so this is a entry level normal mode dungeon, or one of them, and there are 16. The gameplay that you're seeing is a Lepic, a Grenadier class, and his teammate was on the famous Bunny class. So now we have our first phase of the dungeon, and that is the Vulgus sensor encounter. So I believe this is, so you can see the HP at the top, it's shielded, yeah, but it also says Vulgus to eliminate 4 out of 7. So obviously you've got to kill adds to take down the shield, then do DPS. Bear in mind, as I said, this is normal mode, so everything's going to be a lot easier than what it would be on hard mode, and hard mode has a bunch of modifiers on it, and the rewards scale in difficulty towards your difficulty. So take this with a pinch of salt. Do you really think that Nexon or First Descendant was going to give you their best dungeons up front in the beta test 3 weeks ago, the final beta test that was? They weren't going to do that. They'll give you the entry level stuff and say, here, this is what it's kind of like, have fun with it. But when the game comes out, this formula should get more complex as we go on, or I would hope for it to be the case. I can't see why it wouldn't. I'm not saying that these dungeons in this game are going to be 50 minutes long a piece. Maybe on hard mode some of them will be, but I don't think that. I think on average most of them are going to be, some of the harder ones are going to be 20 to 30 minutes long, some of the easier ones 20 minutes or less. This was run with 2 people, bear in mind. With 4 people it would obviously be quicker. Yeah, but imagine solo. Imagine trying to solo this on hard mode. What would the time of that be? Well, if we took a guess, the normal mode of this dungeon took 12 minutes with 2 people. Yeah, with 2 good players, you know, from what it looked like. So you could guess that if we were to run it solo on hard mode, it would probably take double or nearly triple that time, depending on the effects on how hard mode is. The comparison that I can make is, remember Destiny 2 or Destiny. A solo and a strike in Destiny is really easy, but try doing the strike on a Grandmaster Nightfall with negative modifiers. That turns a 10-minute strike to a 50-minute strike. That might be the same with this game. Nobody knows because we haven't seen hard mode difficulty yet. So just bear that in mind. But the gameplay does show a good formula, at least base. It shows you that there are some mechanics filtered in. Bear in mind, albeit they are minor, but they are there. There's mechanics, phases, and then traversal that's fitting some sort of dungeon formula at the very least. But as I said, I do think this dungeon is quite small. That was my impression of it. But again, things can change on the harder difficulties. And I do also think it's an entry-level dungeon. I think there's going to be more complex dungeons in the game. Not to Destiny 2's dungeon level quality, no. I don't think that, but just remember there's 16 of them. Yeah, at launch, you're tackling 16 dungeons. So I don't think they're going to be, you know, that long, but I think they're going to be at least 30 minutes on hard mode, at least, you know, on your first clears. Hoping that, as I say, that the game does go like that. So next mini encounter, we've got a VIP target, a couple of snipers. He's got a sniper gameplay out. So yeah, you've got to take out these. Now we've got the big mini boss guy. He actually has mechanics. but because they melt him that quick, you don't get to see it all. A bit of grapple gameplay as well. See, now look at the gameplay. Like, some people have divided on the gameplay about this game, saying, you know, it looks Anthem based, it looks this based. It definitely doesn't look Anthem based. It looks to me like a hybrid between Outriders and Warframe, with Warframe being Supersonic 2 in terms of pacing, and Outriders being really slow. So if Outriders was a 1 out of 10 and Warframe's a 10 out of 10 for speed, then I believe this game to be bang on in the middle of those two, or actually maybe slightly closer to Warframe speed, but not on the same level. Warframe's a bit absurd though. Warframe does get too quick in the gameplay, if I'm being honest. I do like a balance between speed and strategy. And I think with Warframe it's all speed, 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 speed. And that's what I don't like about that. Whereas with this game it's got the good enough speed with the grapple, the dodge, the double jump, and enough gameplay to supplement with abilities. Here's the next mechanic: capturing a zone. Time limit as well, with mission attempts available. So you only get so many attempts. I don't know what the deal with that is. Maybe you get locked out for a reset for a day. I don't know. Maybe that would be bad if that is the case. Maybe locked out for so long. I'm not sure how that exactly works. Maybe you've got to do something else to re-unlock it or something. I don't know what happens when you run out of mission attempts. But they're capping this zone. Maybe on hard mode the time is less, and if you don't cap the zone in time, you go back. You get pushed out of the activity. I hope that that is the case, because that's going to make you urgently cap this zone. Whereas if the timer runs out and nothing happens, then it's a failed mechanic. So let's hope it's not like that. Let's hope it's urgent so that you have to cap these zones, and it's prevalent to the mission that you do it within the time, lest you fail. I hope that is the case. It needs to be. I know some people might not like what I'm saying there, but listen, with a mechanic there has to be you have to take accountability for not doing a mechanic. And something as simple as not capping a zone, like, that's a simple mechanic, but what's not simple is what enemies push you. On hard mode, is there going to be much more add-ons? Will you need a bubble? Will you need a hyperdome, freaking hypercube Ajax? Will you need this? Will you need survivability to survive that certain scenario? We won't know until we get to play it. But on normal it was a bit of a breeze, definitely. But the whole thing was a bit of a breeze. But again, it's just entry level stuff, and it's just on normal mode. I think the way that this is going to work is that normal mode's your tutorials for the dungeons. I think that normal mode's going to act as sort of like a mini tutorial, and that once you've done that, it's going to be like, right, now you're in the dungeons, because you're doing hard mode and there's modifiers. So here's some traversal. So Bunny just makes it really quick. Look at that. Not even grappling, or maybe they did grapple. I'm not 100%. So yeah, there's some traversal in this, and I can see the base formula. And as I say, if all the other dungeons follow this and elaborate on it, and it's maybe a bit longer with more traversal and more encounters and more diversified enemies, then they've got a good thing going here. And this is just one type of mission. You've got Void Intercept battles, which are the premium battles. Team battles where you're up against massive, huge bosses, which by the way can be soloed, but that's a video for another day. Resurrection limited. So when you revive your teammate, right, there must be revive tokens, but I can't see anywhere on the UI that says about revive tokens, unless it's top right. There's a 5, but I'm not sure what that is exactly. But hey, this is like a darkness zone type thing. So boss spawns in. This is the final boss of this instance, or this dungeon, or reclamation, whatever you want to call it. VIP target in middle. He uses his abilities. Obviously he's on Lepic, like I said, and his teammates on Bunny. So this is the Grenadier class. So hopefully there's some sort of mechanic or substance to this boss. He's in middle right now, and there is. So this is good. At least, thank God there is, and it's not just the fact that you DPS the boss. The boss is now immune. Look at his ultimate. That's Lepic's ultimate used. Look at that usage. This player is actually really good. Whoever this is, he's really good at ability to gun ratio usage and knowing when to use his abilities. And he's only on Lepic, a starter class. And I thought Lepic was going to be poor, to be honest, but having watched his gameplay, it absolutely wasn't poor at all. It was actually fun to watch, especially that traction grenade. You know, mastering your traction grenades to then throw a normal grenade or doing your ultimate when you need to on enemies. So now they can DPS the boss. But they're having to move around. They can't just DPS. This guy's shields have been broken. Yeah, obviously this boss isn't going to be tanky because it's normal, but imagine if it was, there will be a lot more phases to this. There is more, the boss isn't dead yet. There's another phase yet, even though the HP bar is less than a third. Okay, so they're going to delete this copy. It must be a copy of the boss because it's respawned, look. Shields back up, right? And the enemies have respawned. So traction grenade in, then another nade, beautiful. Whoever's playing this, beautiful. It didn't take out all the enemies though, so they were tanky enough, you know, to tank it. So that's going to take some team coordination. I don't know where Bunny is right now, but doesn't seem to be getting a lot of support of his teammate right there. Not impressed with that Bunny on the left. Whereas this guy, this Lepic guy, he just seems to, the guy who's mainly, he just seems to be doing the right moves as he should. All adds are down, they can now do DPS, so they're going in. The boss is debuffed, look at the top. That all your buffs and your debuffs like are at the top. All your debuffs are, sorry, for bosses. Revive is the tokens anyway. I can't see it, man. I can't see it, but resurrection is limited. I don't know how much by, but I'm actually really interested in exactly what that is. But yeah, this was definitely a dungeon because at the end, if you're interested, at 12 minutes 46, you will see the operator will say leave zone. It will say leave reclamation zone, which is classed as a dungeon in this game. That's the boss killed. They're then going to claim their rewards from the end, which they just hack that computer. It's not like a chest. It's just sort of an end result screen, I believe. So it's going to pop up in a minute on their rewards and their progress that they've made. This might be on Ultimate Lepic, now I think about it. The guy's just going into his inventory here. Super clean UI. I actually really love this UI. So I'm sure it was Ultimate Lepic. That was Ultimate Lepic. That's why it was so good. Now everything makes sense. So yeah. You'll see in a minute it'll say exit reclamation zone, but that was a analytical style content of the first Descendant dungeon gameplay.